hopefully he'll be here very soon. So the first order of business is I guess I should say, Alan is out of town today. He couldn't be here, so I am chairing the meeting instead. And we have Dr. Beckner on the phone. So the first order of business is invocation, and that's Mark Austin.
Okay. I think it's fitting to close this calendar here this week by giving thanks. Firstly, I want to be thankful that I live in a community that's unafraid and unashamed to acknowledge God in public meetings. I'm thankful, challenging as that has been at times, also for a board and staff who have worked together in spite of differences to make this a place of enrichment and a model of other libraries. And I ask for wisdom, of course, for us forward to be good stewards of this bountiful resources and to have the courage of conviction to make thoughtful decisions. Lastly, I want to give thanks to our director, Bev, for persevering through a very difficult personal time. And I ask the Lord to give her his special peace and awareness of presence this holiday season.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look at them? Is there any changes or corrections? Is there a motion? James makes a motion to approve. Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Right, next, we have a committee report from Kristen Odom, who is chair of the nominating committee.
So we met on November 6th, and we went over the nominations for the slate of officers for next year, and we did take voters for the who would be willing to take the different positions that we have available. And then we voted, and for that we have, for chair, we have Alan Hill again, vice chair Elizabeth Collins, treasurer Ken Baxter again, and secretary Stephanie Cunningham. So that's what we have at this nominations.
Okay, so the nominating committee has brought forward a slate. I just wanted to ask if there were any nominations from the floor. We can go through them officer by officer. Are there any nominations for chair? Any nominations for vice chair? For secretary? For treasurer? Okay, then we'll,
Question there.
yeah.
The job for week, will the salaries increase from last year? They will say something.
I think it's going to be the CPI, the same as the employees. We're just going to give you a percentage of what you made last year.
All right.
Yeah.
Get 2%.
All right, we'll just pause while Joe calls in.
Joe and Jean on the phone?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome, Joe. Okay, so just, Joe, welcome to the meeting. Alan's not here, so I'm chairing today, but just a summary. Kristen gave a committee report from the nominating committee. There were no nominations from the floor. So we're prepared to vote on the committee recommendation as a full slate. All right, so it came out of committee, it doesn't need a second. Is there any discussion? Okay. Everyone who accepts the slate, please say aye. 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 All right, it passes by acclamation. Great. All right. The executive director's report, Ms. James.
The first item is the Board of Trustees' regularly scheduled meetings calendar for coming year 2025. All the meetings listed are on the fourth Mondays at noon, except for May because of Memorial Day, and in November because of Thanksgiving. We're going to move it a week up to the third Monday instead on those two occasions. So I just need your action on that item, please.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I second that.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. We will meet next year.
My second item is a little PowerPoint slideshow regarding the update on the Blue Ridge Branch Library progress, and Don Allen is going to provide captions or narrate tell you what the slides are.
Good morning. So Rick Silvers is also here, so when we start through this, if you've got any questions about any of the progress of the work, just stop and let me know. We've got 16 or 17 photos here to show you about the progress that's occurred over the last couple of months. This first one here, this is a view, this bottom picture on the left is a view from the street. These pictures were taken on September the 3rd. Now normally, in the progression of the building, we would start showing you pictures of the slab and the footings and the rough end of that, but we had a little bit of a delay in getting the building permits and DOT, working through some DOT issues and the county's building permit issues, just getting all this through in progression, but we didn't want to slow down the project. So you can see here, we actually have started the curb and gutter for the parking area on these two pictures here. This telephone pole that's here in the front has been moved, it's been relocated. Duke Energy agreed to do that for us at no charge. One of the delays in getting the DOT permit was initially our driveway, I think you may remember this, was on the left side, but that ended up with two driveways. The adjacent property driveway is on that side of the road closest to the library also. So both of those driveways are going to be so close together, DOT would not allow us to keep ours there. So that necessitated us moving it to the left side, which is what also necessitated that power pole having to be moved. So we started with this curb and gutter so we could not lose time getting work done on the job. Then we moved into this next slide. This is where we actually started our footing prep. Those columns there with the rebar in them, the ones you see right here are interior columns. They're within the steel structure. There's where the steel columns are going to bear on these footings that are poured there. And then this next slide here, that really big footing there is one of the corners. Various positions around the corners and even some intermediate sections, we have a very large footing there. An actual entire corner of the structure will bear on that footing. All those footings get poured first before we actually pour the slab itself. This is more pictures of the curb and gutter. This is standing in the back of the property, looking towards the street. So this parking area back here, there'll be staff parking back here. There's a turning lane here or a drive-up lane here for drop-off for patrons to access and drop off books. This is again picture of curb and gutter on the left, and on the right side is the detention pond at the back left corner of the property as you're looking from the street. It's on the back left. Then here, this top side is the right side of the property, and the left side is the area where you you've got the driveway lane, it's at the back of the property, and that interior section there is staff park. So the next picture here, the one on the left, you can see we've got some crusher run, gravel dust and stuff out there to start filling the parking, or the parking areas. The areas are gonna be paved. You get all that gravel dust, crusher run put down there so the asphalt can bear on that. And then on the left side is where we're actually starting to form the slab. You can see the footings, those big footings, the concrete's already poured in place there. Now they're forming a monolithic slab on top of that, so that'll all be poured. At this point, we've got the plumbing and the electrical roughed in already, so they're prepping the slab now to get that poured. Now here, just as of September 17th, you can see here we've got the crusher run put down mostly everywhere at this point. It's put down everywhere. And here you can see the slab has been poured. You can see if you can see those grid lines in it. It's where they come in with this concrete saw and cut the slab to actually control the cracking of the slab. You know, all concrete cracks. So these joints just control the cracking of it to keep the slab from cracking in places we don't want it to. Those diamond-shaped areas that you see, these are actually going to be where structural columns are going to go. There's a footing down there below them now, but they set these columns in place and they bolt them down, and which at this point it's actually been done. Let's see, you can see here, they're starting on some of the steel erection and getting that done as of November 7th. Those little short white pipes that are sticking up is rough plumbing that you can see throughout. Let's see. So these last two pictures, this is one that we actually had the Brian, the project manager out there with Clayton, take these pictures and send them to us today, because as of today, the steel is completely erected. And then here's one last picture from the street. This is looking from the street at the property. You can see all the steel is up. They're actually doing the inspection today on all the weld joints. Looks like we're having trusses delivered this coming Monday. So in spite of getting some delays in getting our permits, we've kind of caught up with our schedule, and looks like maybe, hopefully, construction time frame, we May, June of next year, have the construction part pretty well wrapped up. Any questions about that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. That's all I
I
have.
think the only question I had, and I talked to Don earlier, is again, the safety factor on 101. If you're going north on 101, there's a big hill in the road. And if you're flying over that hill, as those high school kids do when they get out of Blue Ridge High School, and somebody's trying to turn left into the library, there's no left-hand turn. And somebody's gonna be hit. And the neighbors that live there will tell you that that's a constant place of wrecks that happen just because of the speed and the inability to see. When you cross that hill, somebody's standing out in the park right there trying to get turned into the left of the library, they're gonna be hit, there's nowhere to turn. Right or left for that car behind them.
Tommy, I actually did hear back after our conversation this morning. I did talk to Stuart, our architect, and did hear back from him that SCDOT, they have looked at that. So in their estimation, they're saying we don't need a turning lane in their estimation. All those the new businesses really are very few. I guess the Dollar General and up at the corner there, but the others are all residential, and so they have determined that we don't need one. Now, whether we decide to do that on our own is a different subject, but DOT has decided that we don't need one. So at this point, there's no plans to put in a turning lane.
I disagree with DOT tremendously on that. That's nothing unusual for me to disagree with them.
Yeah.
But, for a safety factor, I just think it's unreasonable not to pursue at least a turning lane. Either that or you're gonna have to level that hill where there's vision for cars trying to turn.
Yeah, it could be if we decide to stay with what we have now in the future, if it looks like there is an issue or we're getting some complaints about it in the past, I think according to Stewart, DOT has come in at a later date and said, no, we need to add a turning lane. But at this point, they feel like one is not. And this is their estimation.
We have to wait till somebody gets hit and then make a decision. DOT might make a decision.
Unless we decide to petition them earlier.
It's not good.
Thank you.
That's all I have. I'll go and just call attention to the little learner's cards at your table and the activities in Spanish group. We're working on, next time we print, we'll have, both sides in Spanish.
And James dressed to match these today.
I did. I
Help
got
him out with them, yeah. All right, well, thank you very much. All right, is there any unfinished business? Not aware of any new business? All right, then, 12:17, I'm doing okay. Are you doing okay, Ken?
Oh, you did great.
Okay.
That is
Alan's
fine.
gonna have a, he's gonna have a tough time.
That is fine.
Record.
That is fine.
What's that?
He's fine.
Yeah, Alan's fine. That's really, we voted him in, so it'll be really awkward. Okay, so, in that case, do we have any speakers?
I did not receive a summons, so I don't think we do. We can check.
No one seems to be.
Double check.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. In that case, I will, take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye, and we are adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Right.
Thank you.
We are coming to your house.
Thank you.